Pokerev said a lot of things. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? It is the Poke King, and we're back with another banger. This video is going to be very raw. Only edits you'll mainly see will be if I one mess up or two in the opening intro. No shabam, no big bam, explosion, noise, destroying your headphones. We're going to respond to Pokerev. And I know I just hit the mic, sorry. We're gonna respond to Pokerev and pretty much break down some of the things that he said. Because right now, Pokemon is in a very interesting space right now. And coming from someone who opens the product, who semi-invests from the standpoint of a collector standpoint, and then reinvest any earnings back into product, the channel, there's a lot of different takes that I have. And for someone who's been involved in the game, and once again, the one thing I will touch upon, YouTubers, please, it's very cringe. Don't mention and include in how long you've been in the game when you were a kid, especially if we're talking like 5, 6, maybe even 7 years old, 8 years old, when you really don't have the concept of, and most kids don't, of course, the concept of what it costs to buy a pack or how much work it puts in to make a certain amount of money to then buy an ETB or something like that. Just because I think as adults, whether you're an older teenager, adult, older adult, once again, however your age, anything past that like middle school age, I think your perspective changes because of, one, the cost, the work, but once again, to buy the pack. So please stop including like, oh, I've been in Pokemon for this many years. If we count how long when I was a kid opening up packs, well, of course, let's be honest, everybody, most kids, I won't say everybody, but most American kids have opened up a Pokemon pack when they were a kid. So we just can't count that. Plus, you weren't making thousands of dollars when you were opening up those packs. So there's more, I feel, the love and joy. And don't get everything that I'm saying right now twisted. It's just, don't include that. So that little contingent. Let's talk about a lot of things, because Pokerev said a lot of good things. I think he said a lot of things that I can dive a little bit more deeper into, especially from the player standpoint, because there's a lot that really comes into play when you play the game, and then especially what Pokemon does as a company, because once again, they have to appease to the collector aspect. That's why you see things like illustration rares, SIRs. I can play the game whether I have an SIR EX or a regular EX. It doesn't change it. Now, yeah, is it cool to have that SIR? Sure. People want to bling out their decks. There are some people who are like that, but for the average player, they could care less what version of the card they have from an illustrator standpoint, just as long as they have that card. And then Pokemon has to, of course, adhere to the collector standpoint, because don't get me wrong, ever since the original Pokemon base set, there has been that nostalgia, especially as the 90s, honestly, a 90s empire Pokemon became. You have to appeal to that whole audience as well, but also supply and demand. So let's talk about, of course, everybody wants to talk about it, prismatic evolutions. And of course, as a channel, and if you guys don't know, I've been a channel for over 14 years. This channel started right around when I was in middle school, going into my freshman year of high school. And it started with myself, my brother, my best friend Jamie, and we started it originally called 3 PM 151. Now, it was just 3 Pokemon masters trying to collect all 151 Pokemon, and we really loved the game. The same way I felt about the game when I was 10, 11 years old is the same way I feel about the game right now. Don't make money off YouTube. Actually, it's funny. I used to make money when it was 3 PM 151 with like only 300 subscribers. We made almost like $100, I think, in like a span of 3 months. Currently, right now, I am at almost 4,000 subscribers, on my way to hopefully get the channel monetized. But I do the videos because, one, I want to reach an audience. 2, I think it's important to show the different aspects I'm trying to take. And once again, a lot of channels don't do this because it's not the algorithm, it's not the right way if you want to blow up and have 1 million subscribers. I want to take my entire knowledge, one, about how the game works, how reinvestment works, how the investing side of it works, the collector side of it, because I'll admit, I definitely wasn't the biggest collector when I was a kid. I just wanted to play the game. Now I love collecting cards. I love collecting certain cards that just appeal to this brain up here, because a lot that goes on in this brain. Sometimes I don't even know what it does. But I'm telling you all this because this is what comes out it from, this is what you look at Pokemon from every perspective. And that's what Pokemon is doing. They're not just looking at, oh, the TCG players, the OCG players, oh, the collectors, oh, the investment guys, the reinvestors. They're looking at the entire totality. So I'm here to break down what Pokerev talked about. So biggest thing, inventory, and about people buying packs or not. And the way you solve it is by not buying the product. Yes, but when you're an empire like Pokemon, don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, consumers will ultimately control the market. You know, consumers can buy the product or not, but when you have so many people, over 1 billion people involved in Pokemon, it's very hard to tell a bunch of people to boycott the product, to not buy it, because all it takes is for somebody lowering that price, for someone to feel that they're getting a deal, or they can make more money off of it, or it's worth it to try and collect the set now. It would take a lot for that to actually change the game, or to be the quickest change that could be made for the outcome of, hey, Pokemon product prices have gone down. So Pokerev was right. You know, the product is absolutely at an all-time high. From, once again, the demand side of it, it is absolutely high. And of course, the supply is really low with prismatic evolutions. But then again, we also have to look at Pokemon. There are two big reasons, in my personal opinion, for why sets like Surging Sparks, sets like especially Prismatic Evolutions, because that's what started. We could say Surging Sparks did, which it did, but Prismatic took it to that next level of like, really, Pokemon? That is intense. So I can understand with it being a specialty set. I absolutely first hate specialty sets. I personally wish everything would come out as a booster box form, and you would have access to the cards by buying the product. People would break them open, card stores, you can get your product. So specialty sets, they set a certain amount of demand right there. Also supply, because it's not a booster box of 36 packs. We're talking about a 9-pack ETB. So you got to print more ETBs to overcome the booster box supply. So you're limited there. Then Pokemon also short prints the set, with it being a specialty set, which pretty much is going to induce all-time high demand. Like, okay, Shrouded Fable, for example, I think that's the next set that's going to have a big blow up of like, people are really sleeping on this set with how good of a set it is, but it's a specialty set, very similar to Crown Zenith. But the thing with Crown Zenith is they printed a lot of it. They got it out to the public as soon as possible, very fast, a lot of supply. Prismatic Evolutions is just literally creating this demand. When you control the market, what they're doing is, okay, specialty set will limit the supply. And hey, if you buy it, if you get your hands, you spend that 150 on an ETB, 50 or something bucks for like a poster collection. Oh, wow. Guess what? You're going to open up crap, because we also made it very hard to pull an SIR, pull even a full art. Like, what are we doing? So Pokemon has kind of hit all three. I call it the three big factors, and Pokerev went into a little bit, but he didn't dive into just enough of it. When you do that with a set, you're going to create the craziest demand. Oh, wait, the fourth pillar, nostalgia. And you print something, for example, Surging Sparks was the Pikachu, but then you print an Eevee set. FOMO kicks in of Evolving Skies. People like, nah, I don't really want to touch Evolving Skies. No. Back when it first came out, you couldn't get rid of this set. But then that Moonbreon became a thing. And then that Moonbreon started to pick up, pricey. The next month, 50 bucks more. Next month, $100 more. So people don't want to miss out on the next Moonbreon, which this Umbreon is, and I've called it. It is the next Moonbreon, which it is. So people don't want to miss out on that. So that's also now like, okay. And now you introduce things like God packs, and then the special rarities, which I don't think plays too big of a factor, but the fact that you could get a God pack, everybody wants to be the guy. Oh, I got a God pack. I even put it on a short. So when you put all of those four into one set, yeah. No wonder why Prismatic Evolution is going to be one of the hardest set to get your hand on. And if Pokemon doesn't print more of it, of course, this may be one of the quickest sets to reach a certain price point. ETBs could hit $250 to $300. We're talking like, what is it? Not Shining Fates, the one before that, with the shiny Mega Charizard. I forgot the name of the set, but you're going to get to that kind of ETB range where it's like, wow, a modern day set almost costing as much as even something, let's say like a PAX maybe running 20 to 40 bucks, which is crazy. We're looking at that. So from the investment standpoint, yeah, of course, you're going to have scalpers. This is very similar to what, and I posted this on Pokerev's, channel and comment. We're going through what the sneaker market, even like a sneaker talk, sneaker TCG. He was a sneakerhead. He started off with sneakers, so he can give you more insight on kind of where, the sneaker market kind of came from, where people collected it and they wore the sneakers. And yeah, you had your people here and there who would flip it. But then like 2014 to 2016, you see this huge switch where, all of these specialty sneakers and these limited supplies and Nike really constricting what you can get. And then you have shoes, drop date, limited supply. They're going for 3 to 4 times the price of the original MSRP. So yeah, you have botters and scalpers who are going to wait and then wait for that to drop. So of course, you have botters, I guarantee, that destroyed the site when it came to the Pokemon Center, any ETB exclusives, stuff like that, because they can, they can set up ways to get product even when they're sleeping. And if it's valuable, the demand's there. Yeah, of course. Now we're experiencing what the sneaker market went into. I wish I had some water because my mouth is dry as heck. But we're running into right now a weird wave of Pokemon where Pokemon is setting the demand by limiting and by tweaking different factors. Now, the scary part is with stores, don't get me wrong, I actually love that the price of the cards or even the product is, stores can sell it for more, from the standpoint of those mom and pop shops that are hanging on the thread, that are going to rely on people buying Prismatic Evolutions, because yeah, the shop that barely racks in maybe 10 to 15 grand off Pokemon sales a year can rack in 10-15 grand in 2 weeks. Sure, keep those mom and pop shops alive. Now of course there are the scumbag shops that took in pre-orders, that took in people's money, and now that they saw that the set is limited, the supply isn't there, but the demand is there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna cancel your pre-order, give you back your money I've been holding for about 2-3 months. And then it's like, wow, okay, those shops, hey, there's a reason why some shops, you don't feel bad when they have booster boxes for $90 because the set's so super printed. And that's where we run into Beyond Together with that whole set, with the gym set, is that Pokemon has set a demand level. So what's going to happen is you're going to have stores that are going to just put in bigger orders, and what's going to happen is Pokemon is going to print the crap out of the set because of the other factor that they can control. And this is from the TCG standpoint. When you have a core set where it's going to be right near a rotating format, Pokemon has to, and I mean has to, print the crap out of that set. So you're going to see these people pre-ordering and people buying these boxes for pre-orders, and then I'm looking at this gym set at being around MSRP. Pokemon is going to set that demand, which they have right now, know that people are going to order the crap because the demand goes up even more now that it's a post-rotation core set, and it's also a nostalgia set. We're talking about it being on the next level. That Pokemon, to take advantage, to make that money, they will print the crap out of this set. Wait until you see the numbers that will be in March, what stores are getting for the pre-order. Because we also saw that when Shrouded Fable came out, there was a card in a promo in a 3-pack blister called Petrarant that they had to, and I haven't seen this in a long time, Pokemon literally said, all right, this is a legal set that's now legal for TCG play. We have to take that set out. Sorry, we have to take that promo and not allow people to use it at a world championship. We're talking about people who are going to Japan, California, but we're talking about people who are the top players in the game, who, if they want to, of course, they're going to spend the money. They could buy the promo, but they didn't allow it in Worlds because of, once again, how close it was released to Worlds, but 2, how limited it was for people to get the card. So Pokemon's not going to do that for a rotation because they want a fair playing ground for all players. So the only way you can do that is that you have to print the crap out of the set for stores to open the boxes, for people to buy the boxes really cheap, crack them, try to go for a Chase SIR, Illustrated Rare, Nostalgia, whatever you want to say with the gym cards. And then the TCG players can come in and buy up the bulk and the stuff that is more of the playable, less collecting side. So Pokemon is setting up for this big high. There's this big cliff that we're going up. And then right now you're going to see it drop so low. And once again, Pokerev can't give that perspective because he's not a TCG player. He doesn't play the game. There's no knock against him. He just doesn't play the game. And when you don't play the game, potentially you don't see that other side of it. So I think we're going to go back to a more stable market for Pokemon. But what you're going to see is people buying the crap out of the next set and then realizing Pokemon's just going to print it into the ground because they need to for their TCG players. Now, I also want to talk about people coming into the community, and this kind of relates very similar to what happened with the sneaker community, to where it's tough. You have people who feel that they look at things as just a money grab. And then, of course, you have someone, for me, which I do have a biased opinion and outlook on things. Like, do I personally feel there's some part of Pokerev that if he was losing money on the videos, would he still do Pokemon? I personally don't think so. But once again, not here to bash, not here to, project. The guy does a lot of things for the community. With, once again, you had the Logan Paul influence of what Logan did for Pokemon, Pokerev for bringing it to that mainstream level of the streaming aspect. Yeah, you can add to the industry, but still have your goals of what you want to gain out of a different community. But then you have, and I will say even the TCG players who, yeah, we have a different outlook on certain YouTubers. And there are certain YouTubers that are super cringy that you could tell it's all about the money. Go to their comment sections. And you have people who, yeah, we're not fooled by, oh, I just want to open 300 boxes of this set, Terrestrial Festival, the Japanese set, because I just want to collect. Yeah, you want to collect because you know that if you get that Moonbreon PSA 10, it's gonna double or triple in value. Sure, if you want to make it seem like the collecting aspect isn't more about the monetary value aspect, show me a binder of certain cards you collect because they're only $1 or $2 and that you just like the artwork. Or do you only collect money cards? Now, don't get me wrong, you could look at the sports card world, but if somebody's truly into the game, they'll usually have some form of a collection that's not really worth that much, or it's just stuff that they personally like. That's just my opinion. Once again, give or take. If you agree or disagree, you can put it in the comment section down below. But I think we need to have this talk, and I don't want to make this too long, but I think there needs to be the talk of this whole gatekeeping, I think, within like a community where certain people may allow other people into the community space. I'm for people picking up product, especially if they're reinvesting it back into Pokemon products. So we understand how hard it is to make $1 today, and also your dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I'll make a video about when Celebration had the boxes at Walmart, and I'm like, absolutely, pick them up. Here's the breakdown. Here's how much money you can make off of it. But I'm only showing you this if you reinvest back into more Pokemon product or into a collection. And once again, that's what I do for my channel. Any money I make off of, for example, the product from an investment standpoint, which I rarely do, it goes back into the channel for more product to open up, to showcase, to do live booster box openings. So there's that whole aspect to it. And I personally think it's great that Pokerev came out and addressed this because he's the poster boy of Pokemon. Yeah, he deserves that right. He is there. He is up there with the Lionhearts. And he deserves that unlisted leaf. He deserves that recognition. But it's great to see that he addressed it because we understand how hard it is. And I always look at it from, we always opened the packs when we were kids and it was the nostalgia, but we just loved opening up packs. So when you have a kid who wants to chase after that SIR, but you can't afford $150 ETBs, $140 ETBs, heck, even $120 ETBs on opening release date, it's just not possible. But then you run into like, okay, like look at Target. Like a kid's gonna be like, Mom, I wanna, well, you have school anyway, but Mom, I wanna go to Target or Walmart and I wanna pick up this Pokemon box or pick up this ETB or these packs. But then you have grown men who are coming in, wiping out the shelves and buying out all the product because of the monetary gain and the monetary aspect. So Pokemon's in a weird state right now. And once again, looking at other sets from previous, Sword and Shield sets and even Sun and Moon, Pokemon will regulate it and get it back to where it needs to be. Once again, they are creating the big demand that we're seeing right now. And they knew what they were doing. Pokemon absolutely knew what they wanted to do, because we're going to see a bunch of product get dumped and loaded on. And, to one last thing about what Pokerev said of, don't buy the product. Once again, I see both ways of it, where it's hard to not buy the product because, people drop the prices a little bit. You feel like you're getting a deal. You're going to buy the product. And there are channels that want to buy the product. There are people that still want to open up packs. I like opening up packs. It's hard. I personally say that for myself, I'm going to get a poster collection, hopefully an ETB. Hopefully I have a case coming in. Yeah, well, I keep a few ETBs like I did Shrouded Fable because I want to collect and just, once again, display it as I put stuff up on this beautiful, well, I won't be here anymore, but that beautiful shelf. Sure. But I'm going to open the product, whether or not, like Surging Sparks, when I had picked that up at Target and they were still going for like $30 over MSRP and I got it for $50, so it was going for $80. I didn't care about, oh my God, I can make $30 off each ETB. I just wanted to open the product to showcase, can we get an SIR Pikachu? So it makes it hard, and it doesn't help. Once again, Pokemon, with how bad the pull rates are, it really leads to people just holding on to product, because it's like, well, the more if I want to rip everything open and get all the cards I need to acquire as much product as I can because of how bad the pull rates. And I think that was the goal. That was supposed to be the whole goal of, Scarlet and Violet versus Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon, is that you were gonna get better pull rates. But you just saw Pokerev and other people open up like 100 packs and struggled. They only got like full art trainers, and obviously you got your Master Ball holo rare, but they struggled. No SIR, no nothing, no gold. Like, what are we doing? No golds. It's just weird. So hopefully Pokemon, which I think they will go back to the norm. We'll see pricing hopefully go down. Once again, Pokemon can fix this by just printing out more product. In 2022, like Pokerev said, they made a promise that they would print out more product so you wouldn't have like this scarcity of product. But they're creating their own demand, and we got to live with it. But guys, let's talk about it. Put it in the comment section down below. Once again, this was just a straight raw video. I could go on this for days. I could go on to our live stream and talk about it and listen to other people talk about it from every perspective. But let's talk about that in the comment section down below. You guys know what we do here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, become part of the Poke King community. Actually, I don't even say that. Become part of the Poke Kingdom. I said no edits. Become part of the Poke Kingdom. It's been your king. Peace.